Couldn't look away from the train wreck. You can blame it on the tech for the disrespect. Before you play, you better button check.
What is up, Butt Check family? Welcome back to yet again a beautiful day. It is Sunday. The weekend is still here. We done still made it of buttons that need to be checked. Thank you guys for tuning in one more time. Chapters and sub button, all that good stuff down below. We're so close to some number, I don't know. Either way, we're close to the number. That's all that matters. We're close to the number. Thank you guys for joining me. We got some hot ass topics just popping off, I believe, yesterday. So without further ado, let's get this. Now, I might post two today, but either way, we definitely got one. So without further ado, let's check these damn buttons. Go. Why would I do Why? I was so close. Why would I kiss and say peace like it was over? It's the beginning. Son of a bitch, I was close. Golly. Oh, without further ado, let's go. That's all I had to say. But instead, my mind went, love you guys forever. Peace. It's going to be one of those shows. Let's go. All right, first up for them confirmation buttons, talking about Marvel Tokon actually does feel like a 1v1 game, buttons that need to be checked. Do you guys remember over on EVO weekend, Maximilian was playing, he had a lot of different hot takes. He had some where he was like, this game is awesome. He had some was like, certain things definitely need to be fixed, which is to be expected because it's still early on. But there was one that stood out saying, it's a fucking 4v4, but it doesn't feel like a 4v4, it feels like a 1v1, and a lot of people were just kind of sticking to one character. I read some of y'all comments and you were like, well, of course, people don't know how to play the game. It's new. Of course, they're not going to know about transitions too good. You know, they're just going to stick to one particular character. But turns out, the more people that played it, including Sajam, that just posted this, what was this, just yesterday, saying, no, it actually does feel like a 1v1. Let's unpack. Right here, Sajam posted this saying, my Tokon coverage went up today, but interesting seeing most people echo the same thoughts. The game really feels like a 1v1 game with 3 assists that are specials more than a 4v4 game, and it's quite unique and fun. I'm super excited to play the beta. Then continuing down below, I think it not feeling like a standard versus game actually helps with the amount of other titles coming out. Feels like a pretty fresh take. Underneath, others reacting saying, I like that, I don't need another MVC clone, I'm looking forward to playing Doom and 3 minion characters to assist. Then more, kind of continuing on that sentiment, saying, I think they've captured the unique magic in the team games era, and the cool thing about the 1v1 with assists is that you have the option of having the counter pick available during the match if you want to make it hard to tag in, and I think the shared life bar is what probably my favorite aspect of the game. Continuing on saying, I think people just need to get their hands on it to understand. I was pretty curious about it until I got to play it, and then I went back in line several more times, one time waiting about 2 hours and really needed to use the restroom at the end because it was so much fun. Underneath again saying, something MK1 should have done instead of the cameo system, and this game is going to force players to create their own style. Creativity going to be off the chart. In MVC, the team shared the meter. In Tokon, the team shares the meter and the life bar. And it seems to keep going that way. Like, a lot of people are actually praising it. They're not saying like, oh, if that's the case, it's going to be shit or I'm not going to like it. No, they're all actually pretty much agreeing with Sajam in that thread. Now, you could make the argument it's Sajam's page, so birds of a feather, right? But no, usually not in the FGC. Usually, even if it is birds of the feather, you'll see a lot of debating, right? A lot of people talking that shit, but not in this case. People actually seem to be excited because of the way it's playing so far. But wrapping it up, there is somebody with a concern right here saying, of all the footage from EVO and the YouTubers, even the devs that was released the past week, I didn't see a single combo or interaction in the game that made me say, whoa, that was awesome. It looks boring, but the screen gets crowded a bunch. But you do have one response to that where somebody says they played it safe with the combos and nasty things that you can do in tag games for the casuals. So there you have it. How y'all feeling? We won't know, obviously, until we get our hands on it. obviously most anticipated game that we've seen in a long time. Those had concerns. When you started seeing comments like people saying, oh, hold your horses, it plays nothing like MVC, it plays like a true ArcSys game, all this other stuff, right? It feels like a 1v1. Then people started getting concerned like, oh, fuck, I knew it. Here we go, I knew it. This game's gonna be trash, or it's not gonna be what we thought it was. We started seeing a lot of those comments. But the more time that goes on, more people started playing. They're like, wait, hold up. I mean, you see these comments right here as well. We're like, no, it's actually different. It's actually refreshing. I think the uniqueness is gonna be through the fucking roof and people are gonna love this. So you like to see that. I mean, you wanna see that, because let's be real. I know it's super easy to dogpile and talk some shit, but at the end of the day, we want this to live. We want this to succeed and just bring more people to the party. So either way, we'll see. Everybody's gonna wanna play, because everybody's gonna wanna figure out just how good this game really is. How y'all feeling? Let me know. All right, next up for the MenaRD, we talking about the current king of Street Fighter 6, worried about security buttons that need to be checked. You can't argue that. Remember we had that video the other day talking about the Mount Rushmore, who's forever goated. We talked about FGC all time and Evil all time, which is obviously different Mount Rushmores. Holy shit, y'all. On that particular one, I think the title was, why doesn't the FGC consider Sonic Fox a GOAT? Y'all, I average about 100 to 300 comments per video. That's the average. That fucking video got almost 1,400 comments. That's how passionate we are about who is the fucking Mount Rushmore and who is the best of the best and who is really considered a GOAT. Fucking FGC is so passionate about that debate, y'all. Almost 1,400. Hell, it might be over 1,400. I looked a couple of days ago. Almost 1,400 comments on that one topic. Anyway, that's a hot one. We might have to go back to that. But what I'm trying to say is, I think we could all agree that Mena is currently, if you don't want to say he's the all-time GOAT, he's obviously the current GOAT. How could you even fucking say that? Because GOAT's supposed to be greatest of all time, not greatest of today, not greatest of this week. It's supposed to be greatest of all time. So either way, I'm already getting heated again. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is, the champ, the Evo champ, right, did his damn thing, but he made an interesting tweet just a couple of days ago, right after he won, I believe, saying this: I have one big thing I would like to improve at every event, and that is security. I feel like we don't have to wait for something to happen to start improving that area. I wonder how we could do it, but it's a necessity. Damn, not just at Evo, he's saying everywhere. We need to improve it. And also make an important statement saying, I feel like we don't have to wait for something to happen before we start improving it, right? We've saw some crazy shit happening at tournaments within the last several years. Thankfully, at the FGC, it's more wonky shit, you know, in our community. You know, you see like a little fight every now and then. Somebody get kicked out. Somebody might vandalize something. Somebody might steal something. You see that shit, right? Somebody might be smoking something, tearing up the restroom. But thankfully, as far as I know, let me know in the comments if I'm wrong, when it comes to the FGC, when it comes to the fighting game community, I don't think we've seen anything crazy like acts of terror or anything like that. Except believe that one person that shit in the restroom. Didn't somebody shit on the floor at an event? I swear I saw that. Anyway, that's an act of terror. I don't care what you say. Anyway, besides, you know, you get the point. You get the point what I'm trying to say. But Mena's seen gaps, and so are other people, and I'll give you my personal experience from security as well. And he's like, we need to fix this before something happens. Well, FGC reacts, saying security at pools during the main stage or walking on the floor will be great to understand exactly why you think it should be improved. Mena responds saying, I think it's great to have the entrance / metal detector / bag checks, etc. But some on the floor / main stage, I believe, are needed too. They respond saying, got it. Will you maybe prefer to have a closed pool area per game instead of a big open space where everybody can walk? Or just have these extra detectors where you go to the stadium or on the stage? And I know others already disagree with that, but we'll get to that comment in a section. Diaphone actually weighs in saying, what would you change? I thought security at EVO this year was much better than most events. Good entrance security without compromising ease to access. But underneath that, some say, I don't know, bag checks were incredibly lazy and I'd open the smallest part of my backpack and they would let me in. Definitely didn't check bags at all, and I'm afraid something could have happened because the lack of care or effort from security. Diaform responds saying, yeah, that makes sense. Definitely more work to be done there. I think the main priority when you run security is making sure undesirables don't get in, but at the same time, you don't want lines backing up. Then others, and this is the one I was talking about that disagrees with having everything gated off. Right here, somebody by the name of Nate says, I went to Evo for the first time and I enjoyed the floor sprawl. That's why I go. I don't want to have everything gated, like only the player allowed in the pools area, checking people to get into the booths, etc. More strict back checks / metal detectors, and maybe back checks is fine. And even more testimonies right here saying, not gonna lie, I went without a bag check like 8 times on day 2 because I was on a scooter. I knew it was because I was on a scooter, but I wish they were more careful. As a Canadian visiting the USA, my mind thought of all the warnings I was given before going. Damn, and that's real talk, because there is a lot, and I mean a lot of people that look at the USA like the fucking Wild Wild West. You'll see the comments all the time. Hell, I have some friends that comment every now and then like, hey, is it really that fucking crazy out there? They're literally scared to come out, especially this year with all the, political or shit going on either way. And I'm not here to decide politics or any shit like that. I'm just saying, we could all agree there's some shit in the air. There's some shit going on if you're on the left side or the right side or the middle side, the upside, the downside, the west side, whatever side you on, it's some shit, right? But people, have the tendency to see the negative stuff, to report on the negative stuff. Somebody says, well, isn't that what Button Check does? Hey, fuck y'all. All right, no, I'm here to give y'all the truth. I'm giving y'all the scoops. Okay, we do some nice shit every now and then. Here goes some nice shit right here. See, isn't this nice? This player just lost his huge dream opportunity for the LCQ Tekken 8 over here at the EWC, and he's devastated. And his homies, his teammates are like, you know what? We love you. We got your back. It's gonna be okay. That warms your heart. That's good, and that's what Button Check does. Okay, now back to the shit. Yeah, real talk. That's what I'm trying to say. People watch, you watch content creation, you watch the news, and shit can be scary. That's why you always hear people say, I don't watch the news, because all they show is the scariest shit. Somebody actually posted this. It was a reminder. Do you guys remember? Man, it was like 2 years ago. There was this crazy activist group. I can't even remember what they were about. It was some crazy shit. It had nothing to do with video games. Literally nothing to do with video games. But they were going around ruining fucking events any way they can. And for some reason, they started targeting FGC events. And they would go on stage and fucking throw paint, ruin monitors, destroying equipment, and then they would hold up their flag or whatever their organization was. Like, we stand for this. Literally, once again, had nothing to do with fucking FGC or video games. So people were like, yo, shut these motherfuckers down. Like, do you not know this hurts your cause more than it helps it? Either way, here's a clip. Oh, that's fucking Mena. Oh, shit. Bro, the fucking dots are connecting. Is this what the fuck Mena was talking about? I didn't even... Bro, I randomly clicked on this shit because somebody put it on the comments. So I thought it's one of the random ones that happened in the past. I didn't know Mena was actually in the clip. So Mena actually lived through some of this shit. So check this out. Mena's on stage. This bum right here jumps the stage. I believe he gets a paintbrush and starts smearing the fucking monitors before they tackle him. There's other clips where people were doing it in other sections. I'm not sure if this was the same tournament, but there was one tournament, fighting game, in the FGC where there was multiple people jumping in at the same time, fucking up the main stage and all that stuff. But either way, let's watch it again. Okay. Oh, there's two guys up there. They're both doing the monitor. Yep, Mena gets up. Wait, who was the one that tackled him? Hold on. Oh, is that fucking Angry Bird, y'all? They're wiping the monitors. Oh no, that's somebody from the... Mena's like, what the fuck?
Excusez-moi, avec le succès. Je pense qu'on peut appeler.
See them right here? See this shit?
Je pense qu'on peut se retrouver dans quelques instants pour la suite de la finale. Je pense qu'on va devoir mettre un petit arrêt. On va mettre, je pense, est-ce qu'on mentionne je pense que oui, non?
Still running around. Over there talking about free the birds or some bullshit that has nothing to do with us. Anyway, you see that? Fucking Mena was involved in it already. So now it's making sense. Now the wheels are turning. Mena has already been involved in something like this. So now anytime he goes to a competition, it's in the back of his head. Because, you know, like, we talk about this a lot of times. Like, people that grow up certain ways. Like, I'm not the most hood person, but I did grow up right there. You know what I'm saying? A lot of my friends were right there. So I have that constant mentality where I'm always street smart. Anytime I go somewhere, I'm looking to see where the exits are. I'm paranoid. I go to the movies and I don't like anybody. You ever go to the movies and there's like nobody in there? It's just you and then the motherfucker sit right behind you? Why are you sitting behind me? There's plenty of seats. Why you gotta get behind me? You know what I'm saying? Or if I go to the urinal and you pee right next to me and there's 5 free ones, why are you peeing next to me? Anyway, I'm paranoid. To the point where, yes, it does help, but it also kind of makes you crazy. It also kind of makes you fucking crazy. But it's because your experiences in life, kind of like trauma, right? So Mena has been through something like this before. He's like, yo, we need to fix this before something bad can happen. Now, here's the thing. When I went to Evo, I realized that we've heard this before. And people have targeted Evo as well, saying, no, day 2 and day 3 are usually more relaxed. It's just what happens. Day 1 will be kind of really, really strict. And then the more it progresses, it's fucking lax. And sometimes you could just walk in without a bag check. That happens. And it's because it's so fucking huge. They hire these outside vendors or outside security team. And yes, they could do their job, but it's usually only a couple of guys. I don't know, a team of 5 or something like that. Take that with a grain of salt. They could have 30. I don't know. I'm just saying what I've seen. What I've seen at the door, you know, because they got their metal detectors and stuff like that. So, but for the amount of them versus the amount of us, which is like thousands and thousands and thousands, you gotta imagine they're in over their heads. So some shit is gonna happen, especially day 2, day 3, where it seems to get more lax. Then in a situation like this, where people actually rush the stage, it looked like in some of these situations, because there was a couple of these videos where they got tackled and then they got let go. And then they kept doing the shit or they ran away, something like this. In situations like this, man, you need security that's gonna mop their mess. Do you remember when that guy attacked Dave Chappelle? Do you know how badly they beat that motherfucker to send a message that you don't wanna do this again? Because we will twist your shit up. That's what needs to be done. That's the realest talk. If you rush the stage and do some bullshit like this, your ass needs to get twisted up. The message needs to be sent that we do not fuck around. This is a non-fuck around area right here. This is what we do in Playboy. This is how we handle business. This whole like, oh no, get away, hey, please stop. Oh, tackle, let you go. Oh, flag football, oh. Nah, bitch, my foot is in your ass and then I tie my shoes through your mouth. That's what happens. Anyway, it all makes more sense, man. And I will say this, glass half full, at least they're trying. You do see some people in the comments as well saying, well, I thought it was great. Yes, there's gaps, but for what it was, it looks like they're trying. And maybe the powers that be will actually see something like this. You're talking about the Evo champ now. Fucking Evo champ from Vegas and Japan. So hopefully the powers that be see this and listen. How y'all feeling? Let me know. And that it is, Butt Check family. Definitely let me know how you were feeling. Appreciate the mad love. We will see you soon. If not later today, definitely later tomorrow. Well, yeah, tomorrow. So either way, thank you guys for the amazing love. As always, I don't know what it is, but I know somehow, some way, it's about to get better. Love y'all, fella. Peace. Blah, blah, blah. Subscribe. See, that's how I was supposed to do the shit. Peace, because it was the proper time. Not right there in the beginning, but at the end. See, now my mind's clicking. It's taking me a while to warm up. There you go. Clicking and sticking. Clicking, sticking, and licking. It's a whole different video now. Anyway, y'all take care.